Welcome, everybody, to the last race in the round of 12 in the ARCS Darkside Mustangs A-Square Cup Series playoffs. Elimination time is near for 4 drivers tonight. Tonight's the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval, the last road course in the season. We're glad you're with us here on an amazing Sunday evening for racing. I'm Carmen, Sienna, alongside me, Kevin Young, as always. Kevin, it's road course racing at Charlotte. Feels like a street circuit, but it's very much not. What are these drivers looking forward to tonight?
Well, it's going to be a bit of a hard place to pass, at least a little bit. Track position is going to be key to a degree. You can make passes if you know you got the speed, but if you can run equal pace, you want to try to get the best run you can on restarts and things to ensure position. But you also don't want to back corners up too much or make mistakes because cars will get around. Other than that, take a lot of the oval. You can see they take 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 through the infield. And only other thing really to note is that this is going to be a fun little playoff race here, and 4 drivers are going to go home, and their championship hopes are going to be ended after tonight.
2.24 miles the lap around the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval, 78 degrees the air temp, 97 degrees the track temp. That will go down a little bit as this race goes on, as the track gets a little bit cooler, but not a whole lot of reprieve for those tires here tonight. Next to no winds, though, should help a little bit here. Qualifying underway at the moment. See the lap times as they stand on your screen. 10 cars at lap times. Brandon Proudfoot on track now is a driver that has not yet set a lap time, but he's about to.
Yep, it's going to be a second lap here in the books. First lap wasn't validated. He'll shoot up to P6. He jumped up big. Same thing with Emma Kruger. Was currently P5, jumped up to P2 just as we tuned in the qualifying here. So she'll be on the front row. Still a handful of drivers still yet to go here. Austin Mongol, Tommy Withers, Stefan Oberstadt. Kevin Feemster should be worth noting as we'll get to the standings. I've seen more, but not. But he is currently the last driver in right now. He is the line, and he invalidated both of his qualifying runs, and he'll be starting at a minimum of P12 for his troubles.
Dial points as they run. This is what the points look like coming up on your screen now. Reynolds, Gaiman, Wanzing, Fetter Place, top 4. The cut line is 8th place. Feemster's got it. Kruger almost in a must-win situation to get in. Several drivers missed last week. Keep in mind.
Yeah. The 4 drivers that missed were Michelle, Roberts, Sears, and Pennell. Ryan Pennell also not here tonight, so his championship hopes have officially been dashed. So Ryan Pennell will not be competing for a championship here. But for the other 3, Michelle, obviously currently pole sitter, had enough of a cushion throughout Texas in the previous weeks that right now he's still above the line by 4. But for Roberts and Sears, it's pretty much almost must win. I think Kruger, you could make a case that if she gets a good enough run through stage 1 and stage 2, and Feemster or maybe David Wright, Stefan Oberstadt, whoever you want to throw out there, has slightly poor runs, she could claw her way back in via points. But if you're Roberts and Sears, we know they're somewhat strong at road courses. Definitely Sears, he's sneaky fast at these places. If they can get good stage points, it's still probably not going to be enough. They're going to have to get wins to get in.
That's the points as they run right now here. On the car track at the moment is Daniel Michelle running additional practice laps here.
Yep.
At the moment.
It also should be worth noting one more before the standings go away here. The gap from 4th to the line is only 8 points. That can easily shuffle, and if a driver from the outside gets in, let's say a Kruger, a Roberts, or a Sears wins, that is going to be interesting to see how that evolves overnight with the cars shuffling throughout.
And we will keep you up to date on those point situations as they evolve from stage 1 to stage 2 to the end of the race. We'll have all those updated here per stage here on ABN Esports 1. Looking at a 15-car grid for tonight's race, elimination race here, and then it's all ovals from here on out.
Yeah. It's Las Vegas, Homestead, Martinsville, and then championship in Phoenix. So 4 rounds left in this long season. It's been over 30 rounds. It's been well over at least 8 months, coming on 9. And if you've worked hard, most of these drivers have worked hard throughout all this calendar year. And for it to come this close to being to a championship, we'll see who has the adversity to bring it on home. That session is about to come to a close here. Got about another 30 seconds on the clock, a little under 30 seconds, about to be 15 seconds now. Time is ticking away here. It's going to be Michelle and Kruger on the front row. There'll be 5 minutes of warm-up first. Then the rest will file in as they sort. But right now, that's what Kruger needs at the moment. Same thing with Michelle. One above the line by a few, one below the line by a lot. These front row starts for either of these playoff drivers are definitely going to be what the doctor ordered.
Warm-up here coming up very shortly. 30-second race of the season, close to beginning. And you'll see cars immediately get on track. Drivers wanting to take advantage of this 5-minute warm-up session.
Not many laps you could take here. It's going to be kind of short, but it's still 2 or 3 laps. Definitely could be worth practicing.
Absolutely. It's 100% worth practicing because, again, the track changes so much as things evolve.
Should be also worth noting as well for the viewers at home. You can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but since A Squared runs similar rules to the NASCAR package, and with most of the road courses we've seen here this whole calendar year, they have had no stage breaks because they haven't had stage breaks on the road courses. But coming into tonight, coming into the real life race at the Charlotte Roval, they implemented the stages back. So I'm assuming, if I'm not wrong, we should see stage breaks here tonight, and they will actually lead the cautions.
That is correct.
So it's going to be a bit different than the other road courses. So it does allow a driver. We saw at other road courses where they made a mistake. They may have had to spend the whole race trying to reel their way back in. Now, though, I wouldn't say it's a safety net, but at the very least, it gives them an opportunity. If they make a mistake in stage 1, let's say they overcook a corner, have a mistake, it allows them a chance to regroup, regrip, and get rebunched back up in order to maybe try to get points in stage 2 or even go for the win in the final stage. So it's not all doom and gloom if you have a mistake on lap 1, but obviously you don't want to have a mistake on lap 1 if you can avoid it.
And now we're following Josh Gaiman on his lap. We'll see if we're on board to give you all a perspective of a lap here around the Charlotte Motor Speedway Roval. I love this track a whole lot as a driver. So I'm excited that we're here. For those that aren't maybe unaware or maybe haven't seen, ABN goes here a lot for Champ Car, Atlantics. Hyper 4 will be here later this year. It's the only track I have lap records at in ABN. So
I know. I remember. I think we were doing a practice session once in. I want to say it was Champ Car Machinery, and you were at a point where you were just like, "I want to get the fast lap. I want to get the fast lap here," knowing that it was kind of your main objective to try to get the fast lap, because you know you're quick around here and you know how to get the job done around here to try to get the points. And I also know for a fact, if you look at the official ABN YouTube channel, I know you've had at least one video on there is you having a duel with a good old world champion Christina Ryan, having a duel round here at the same Charlotte Roval.
And the high performance testing, that was a wild test. I can't wait for that season to start. I won't be racing in it. I'll be broadcasting it on Thursdays, beginning this Thursday. But it's fun being in those cars, and it's fun being here because it's got that street course feel. You see how close those walls are as you're on board with Gaiman. It's very treacherous. Especially in these cars. These are 3,500-pound stock cars, 670 horsepower. Not a lot of grip in the rear tires, though. It's very slippery. And you can hear right now as Gaiman tiptoes around, getting back onto the oval. Walls are everywhere. Like, you mess up by the smallest margin, and it could either you clip the inside wall or you smash the outside wall. It has that straight course feel, which makes it so unique, because it's also got that elevation change, too. From the infield. And that's another little change there. The chicanes and add another layer of challenge, but they're not impossible to tackle. You can be a little bit aggressive, especially in that first chicane. And obviously with this track having AstroTurf in the front straightaway here, makes it where you can kind of get away with being a bit of a daredevil in that final chicane, because you're not going to have grass to up the car.
Yeah.
So it's so crucial getting it right, but it's forgiving in the right places, and it's so satisfying getting a lap down.
Yeah. I'll agree with you 100%. It feels great when you put down a time. And unlike more modern, like Formula 1 circuits, you see where it's a lot of runoff, The walls are closed, but there's still at least enough forgiveness in certain parts that it basically makes it slightly forgiving, but like you said, a bit of a challenge. And when you get it all right and you hook it up and you make it feel good, you feel like $1 million when you cross that line with a good time. So warm-up is about to finish up here. We just hit the end of it. Michelle will top the session here, so Pulsitter will also be the fastest in warm-up, and I think he was also the fastest in practice. So looking go for the weekend sleep here. He's already got 3 out of 5 objectives done, but see what that 25 car can do.
Let's get into the starting grid. Danny Michelle, Pulsitter, alongside Emma Kruger. It's going to be very entertaining to see how that battle goes. Kruger needs to perform well tonight, but it is not impossible for her to get into the round of 8.
No.
She will have a lot on her tail, though. Tommy Reynolds and Josh Gaiman in row 2. Jeremy Breo and Brandon Proudfoot in row 3. We taught Jeremy Breo, which we finished on the podium last week. Said he should be here for the rest of the A-Square Cup Series season. He's back home. We're happy to see him in the 74 car tonight. He's in row 3 alongside Brandon Proudfoot. Seth Wansing and Baron Fetterplace in row 4. Ahead of Bryn Roberts and David Wright. Tom Sears talked about him. He's essentially in a must-win unless he can get some really good stage points. If he wins both stages, it changes the situation a little bit, but that's a tall ask given who's in front of him here. He'll be alongside Austin Mongold in row 6. Found a couple rows here. Oberstadt and Withers in row 7. Feemster on his own in row 8.
Yeah, Feemster got a little bit poked by the eye-raising gods there, because for the drivers that do not qualify or do not have a time valid to put down, it goes by car number, and it just so happened that he had one of the lowest car numbers, so he gets slotted in the last spot here, P15.
So the thing is with Feemster, so with Oberstadt and Withers getting ahead of Feemster, because you talk about the car numbers, Feemster attempted a qualifying run. And that's what put him backwards, whereas Oberstadt and Withers did not.
Got it. So it goes by, okay, so it goes by, in those regards, it goes by if you don't qualify, then it's sorted.
It's better to not qualify than to qualify and do bad.
Yeah, got it.
Which is a very interesting concept, but for Feemster, I think he's okay with that, because it means he gets to be pretty much in the clear on this opening stanza. I think that's been a pretty big thing for him, is just trying to get into clean space. I think he knows that. And just try to pick off cars one by one tonight, because there are going to be drivers that make mistakes. We've seen this time and time again. Drivers, whether it's a lapse of concentration or rather spending just a little bit too much time pushing 110%. You see that outside wall. People are going to be very acclimatized to that wall, as well as to the inside wall, that little rounded exit point to get back up to the oval. People will clip that too. Just a matter of when that's going to happen and who it's going to be.
And the thing is, with Feemster, he is quite strong. We saw him at Chicago Street Course, top 5. He's usually in the top 5 at these road courses. We see him able to rock it in. So I have confidence he can get from the front to a reasonable good spot and ensure to get to the next round. But again, we'll see. Another driver, I think, maybe trying the ride around situation. Maybe Stefan Oberstadt as well. He doesn't have a lot of points he can throw away, only 5 above. But knowing that at least 2 drivers are probably in must-win, he just needs to be the highest out of his opposable rivals currently above the line, just in case we get a new winner, or a new winner that's below the line, or a driver may pull their way up from down below. So if you don't feel like you have the confidence here, like a few drivers, we know Stefan Oberstadt, David Wright, for instance, they'll probably tell you the horse out of the mouth there. They're not the strongest these road courses. Just try to survive and make sure you bring it home. And just be the best out of the 8.
Or it's almost time to go racing here at Charlotte. Coming to the last couple corners here. Championship standings on your screen right now. It's almost showtime. Pace car is in. Field goes green. We're racing at Charlotte. Here we go.
Yep. Already, Emma Kruger had a bit of a poor launch through the corners. Big puff of smoke. The drivers try to hit the braking points. Well, that's not people hitting their braking points. 74 around along with the 7. So both Beatron racing cars, and Tommy Withers plows in there. 3 cars involved. They'll get it fired. Cautions are pretty lax around these road courses usually anyway. Themester also goes for a loop just up the road there as well. Single car spin for him. So few cars already win Calamity right now at the moment. 2 playoff drivers in the 7 and the 21. At least the 7, though, has that win at Dega. So at least the back pocket, so he knows he can afford a mistake like this. Now we'll cut up here with Emma Kruger and Josh Gaiman. They're currently battling for second. Kruger had a bit of a poor launch off the line. As we saw, she kind of didn't get going as well as she kind of spun it a little bit in the corner. She's trying to get in a rhythm here, but Gaiman going to keep her honest.
And again, for Kruger, she's in a good spot right now. She's in second. If she can hold a top 3 in both stages, that's a really decent point while the changes is tied around.
Yeah. So, like, right, for instance, right now, it would be plus 9 and 1. So it'd be 8 points both stages. And considering the fact that, again, the cut line is currently Feemster, that would be a +1. It would be basically she'd be ahead of Feemster by 1 right now at the moment. But obviously, again, 55 laps, 2 stages to go. She... Well, not trying to jinx her, but she has maybe not a bit of an issue, but she always goes to the drop of the hat, whether it's lap 3, lap whatever. She's always pushing, always going aggressive. Sometimes that could be a mistake as Wanson gets a little loose in the background shot there. He'll get it saved, but he's already going to lose 2 spots here. His own teammate, Bren Roberts, who's in a must-win, will sneak on around along with Feather Place. So 2 drivers will clear. Wanzing, one of the only few drivers not locked in with big cushion, as we saw in the standings, plus 20 over Feemster. Who just needs to make sure he doesn't do anything silly tonight, and he should be continuing on to the next round. You already see the field pretty spaced out here for the most part here.
Yeah.
Like, a few little incidents, a few little mistakes for some cars. Some cars made some slight mistakes like I was alluding to there. And everyone's kind of just spaced out, as right now the 25 is crossing the start-finish line. The basically the cars 11, 12, and 13, if it's just getting out of the angle, 70 gets a little loose off exit there. That's going to cost her a lot of time trying to chase back down the 25, well over half a second. But same thing kind of similar happened to Gaiman and Proudfoot, so they gained a little, but not a lot on that 70 machine.
And this is a very difficult car. I raced in the Ignition Series, and that was on Friday, and these cars have a similar issue where the tires are, for some reason, unfortunately, they perform better on cold tires when they're cold.
Gaiman's lost it. Sorry to cut you off. Gaiman is spinning. You'll see him right there. He was spinning through the whole corner.
Yeah, he just drifted that entire corner there. Get him an ESDA license. But he had the same problem on Friday. The rear tires have no grip, and it's a camber issue on the setup. They have no camber until you hit the brakes, and then they've got all the camber in the world. So it goes from, it's almost like having the rear tires off the ground. You see him struggling there once more with the brakes there. He's going to miss the chicane, have to give up time. So he's almost certainly going to lose the spot here at Proudfoot.
We'll see here. Yeah, we'll have to let the time go. Yeah.
But it's all on the brakes and the rear tires right now that everyone's struggling. And obviously with this car having 5 gears, a little bit more torque in the lower gears now, with 630 horsepower. But a lot of the issues you're seeing right now is under braking, and that's really difficult to manage.
Yeah, because you want brakes, like, it's not like in a Formula 1 car or a Champ Car machine or what have you, that when it brakes, it will brake on a dime. And with that point it's always a bit of a pain to get these things to woe down. And when you're not 100%, when you feel like the car is loosey-goosey on the straights, and then you get all the camber, like you said, in the corners, it's just like, what am I supposed to do with that? When you brake, you want to know what it's going to do braking. And if it's in 2 different states, it's not the funnest thing in the drive in the world. And the drivers that could best adapt to that are going to be probably in a good spot. Obviously, right now, Daniel Michel is currently adapting that to the best. He's 3 seconds clear of Emma Kruger in second. And then Emma Kruger's about 4 clear of Proudfoot in third. But as you can see through the rest of the field, some drivers are really starting to struggle, still trying to get home to that. And again, one positive maybe stage breaks here, because at the very least with those, it will bunch up the field. And in turn, so instead of like these cars further back here that we're currently watching with Tommy Reynolds, who had the mistake lap 1, who'd have to spend the whole rest of the race trying to reel his way back up to the 25, at least have a chance with a stage break to get back up a little bit higher up. A lap 5 laps in the books right now as we're watching Sears and Reynolds fighting for second and first. Well, 2 points and 1 point, 9th and 10th in the things as Sears cooks the corner there. He'll have to give up some time here, and that will allow Reynolds to sneak on by here. So promote Reynolds up to 9th. Sears will fall down to 10th, and actually it looks like Feemster is knocking on the door to try to challenge Tom Sears there. It looks like he's a little further back than I thought he was. But Reynolds moving his way up for the field here. Now his next targeted line will be David Wright.
Stage 1 ends on lap 10, so it's a short burst in this first stage. There's Daniel Michel entering the backstretch chicane. And I think it was kind of assessed pretty well. Michel's a great road course driver in general, but he's also great at driving horrible.
Yeah.
And the way that was broken down, so like Michel shines the best, and Aiden Norman's in a similar situation. They're great when the car's at its worst, because that's where their talent really comes out, and that's where this car is right now. Michel's able to just kind of wheel and deal because like he's in his element right now, and he's not going to be touchable. I think we're going to see this just about all race long unless he makes a mistake on his own. And an unforced error from Michel on a road course, hard to do.
Yeah.
But also you look at his pace, even if it's an unforced error, he is one of the fastest on track. Brandon Proudfoot just set the fastest lap. But the top 3 have all stepped forward as far as times have gone. So it's going to be, I think, the top 3 minus an issue are kind of locked into their own little worlds because they're either evenly spaced, 3.4 seconds between the 2 of them.
Yeah.
Between the 3 of them.
And with this track being a bit of a pain to pass at, even if, again, with a stage break or what have you, gets the field bunched up, Emma Kruger and Brandon Proudfoot, it's going to be hard to pass. Even if they run similar times to Daniel Michel, let's say they all run 120s, low 119s, what have you, even if they run those times, you're going to have to try to force the car ahead into mistake, because if you're all running similar times, that's all you can really hope for is the car ahead makes a mistake more than you trying to make a lunge, because there's only so much you can do. This isn't like an oval, or this isn't like a super speedway where if you get the run or you get a situation with the draft, you can try to set up for the next corner, set up for the next thing. It's all really just hoping the car ahead makes a mistake when you're all running such dead times.
Now looking at Seth Wansing sitting 5th place at the moment. Top 6 are on their own little island. You really have to look back to Tommy Reynolds, who's made his way up to 7th position. To where you find other cars near each other here, and that's where you find Britton Roberts, and then another cluster of 3, the only cluster on the track at the moment.
Yeah.
With David Wright, Tom Sears, and Kevin Feemster battling for the last stage points.
Sears needs to kind of get as many points as he can here, so he's going to try to throw it down right here. Right in a bit of a different situation, has that cushion, and just wants to get as much as he can here. Doesn't, again, be the best out of the 8, just in case we get a new winner or someone pointing their way in. You do not want to be the last of those 8. And right now with Stefan Oberstadt being 15th and really struggling, those points are going to help out crucially if you can get it. But right now it looks like Feemster is going to try to put a mulligan in that, or at least a dent in that, if you will. And it looks like he'll get around the 42. But now Wright goes from having 2 points to 1 point to now 0 points in the stage at the moment. But if a driver makes a mistake, obviously, could try to capitalize. But right now, that 42 machine got nothing. Austin Mongold going to be the first retirement of the race. He's taking it behind the wall, so now we will have 14 runners still running at this moment in time. But to kind of go back to what we were talking about, those top 3, we saw when Brandon Proudfoot came in, was his debut race was Watkins Glen. He was quite strong. He was bringing it to Aiden Norman. He was having a 10-15 lap battle with Aiden Norman. He was able to bring the thunder, if you will. It's quite strong, but obviously strategy ended up costing dearly. And throughout the rest of the week, saw him at Darlington. We've seen him at multiple tracks. Quite strong. I think maybe one of his main kryptonites is a bit of the strategy call, where it just seems sometimes the strategy element goes the wrong way, and he has to try to dig himself out of that hole. So if that 22 can get itself footing under it, could be a bit of a threat here to maybe be a bit of a spoiler for these top two, which I'm assuming this top two don't want, with one 4 points ahead, but should get more comfortable as the stage ends, and the 70 kind of in a get good points or must-win situation. Speaking of the 70s, we ride on board with her. She's 3 seconds back of Daniel Michelle, 6 seconds clear of Brandon Proudfoot. So in her own little world here, there you can see the 25 up the road. They are going to catch a car here. Looks like it's the 3 of Stefan Oberstadt. As we've hit 2 to go in the stage, stage will end in 2 laps time. Oberstadt would be the first one down here, so as long as that 25 does not catch up to Tommy Withers, Oberstadt would get his lap back.
Kruger just set a personal best lap, which was faster by a couple hundredths than Michelle. So Kruger's found her element, but lap traffic in the way.
Yep, it's going to cost her all that time she just gained.
Yeah, Steven Oberstadt trying to get out of the way. He's currently, I believe, the only car a lap down.
Correct.
Withers should stay on the lead lap for another lap or so. So I believe it'll still be just Daniel Michelle up near the front here. There he is.
Yeah, he's all alone. Withers is currently going through 3 and 4. So again, unless Withers makes a mistake, that will be the only car one down.
One lap to go in stage 1.
Yeah, just starts the final lap in the stage. Beat me to the punch there. Gonna be a quick lap here. Again, Kruger is gaining time. It should be worth noting she's gained half a second on that 25. So maybe something at least, I don't think she probably won't get to the 25 for the end of the stage, but at the very least, should be something at least worth noting that maybe she's got a bit more long run pace. Maybe she's taking better care of the tires.
That'll be important for the second stage, which is gonna be longer. Stage 2 is on 25.
Yeah. So we'll see how this plays out as time goes here. Oh, Kruger almost clips that wall there. Luckily, she'll keep it clean. She's giving it all she can in that 70. As Michelle comes through 3 and 4 here, actually could have a chance to lap Tommy Withers, which is what which Oberstadt will not want to see here. But coming off the last corners, Withers will hang on. Michelle will take the stage, and that will end the stage. So it's going to be Michelle, Kruger, Proudfoot, Gaiman, Wanzing, Featherplace, Tommy Reynolds, Sears, Feemster, David Wright. That will be your top 10. Only 2 playoff drivers not scoring stage points there were Bren Roberts and Stefan Oberstadt. So obviously cars will obviously pit here, take advantage of the situation. And while they get ready to things, we know Carmen in her own little math tab right now, doing some calculations, crunching some numbers. We'll get you updated points as soon as she has them available. But at least I can take a guess right now, looking at how it all shakes up. We know Kruger gained at least 7 points on Kevin Feemster at the very least, with obviously how it shaked up. Gained at the very least 8 points on David Wright. They both were tied at 4-4. So we know Kruger, that was a good, what the doctor ordered, if you will, for that number 7 machine. Roberts, Sears, not so much, as that gap is going to grow a little bit farther away from that cut line, and basically probably put Roberts in a must-win along with Sears.
All right, points I believe are set up and ready to go, so we'll bring them up here.
Alrighty. So we'll take a look-see.
And that's before. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second. That was before tonight's race. Things have
There we
changed a
go.
little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle's already done a fantastic job so far, but gaining 3 spots with that stage win shows how close that group was in the stage. Kruger's still behind by a little bit, but still obviously a second stage, and then obviously the race points will be where all the big points are determined.
Yeah.
So
again, that's only an 8-point gap right now, which between Kruger and Feimster, which is definitely doable in the second stage as long as Feimster has a bit of a poor stage or Kruger has a good stage. So that's easily makeable up. And then remember, Stefan Oberstadt is going to get his lap back, but he didn't get any stage points, and at least we'll see in stage 2, but I don't bet on the odds of him getting any stage points in stage 2 either. Obviously, could easily prove wrong, go out there, maybe win the stage. But at least looking at trends, he doesn't look like he has a chance, so that could easily allow Feimster maybe even leapfrog him only 3 points back. So that could easily change who the cut line is, as the 70 is going to take a bit of an odd strategy here in the pit stop window. Roberts stays out, but Kruger going to only go for a fuel-only stop along with Josh Gaiman, Tommy Reynolds, and Brandon Feffplace. Michelle, Proudfoot, Wanzing, and Sears all going to take 4 tires. So bit of a mixed bag of strategy. Kruger thinks she's, because we see this at road courses, tire wear is not really that big of a factor per se. You can go long on, basically you come in for fuel-only rather tires. And we've seen that throughout all the road courses with a lot of drivers that have done these road courses. Kruger, Gaiman, Reynolds, all take no tires or barely any tires, while Michelle, I like to go for the 4 here. Maybe not feeling confident, feeling that he'll be quicker, can make that time up, but now he'll be back with the Hornets, so we'll see how it all plays out. But Roberts only one, actually also took fuel only too, so Roberts looking to see what he can do with track position. Actually, Roberts pit before the stage ended, so he obviously stayed out, but obviously took fuel only as well.
this will be interesting. A lot of cars took fuel only.
Yeah.
From Kruger, Gaiman, Reynolds, and Fetterplace, and this is the strategy that's worked typically more often than not. We saw Michelle struggle though. The tires may have been his only bet.
Yeah. Maybe he's in the element as well. Take tires now, see what stage 2 goes, maybe then take no tires and still have that slight advantage.
That would be a rough thing to do and not take tires in stage 3.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really rough. I feel like the strategy call is not take tires here and then take tires at the end of the second stage.
Probably.
I feel like that's the smartest move, but I'm also the person that would probably take tires every stage just to be safe. So.
I mean, I'd be taking. I would be driving the pace car.
There's a reason we're in the booth. There's a reason we're in the booth and not in the cars making the decisions.
You'd be taking tires every stage, fighting for maybe 10th, 11th. I'd be driving the pace car with how slow I'm going, taking tires every 5 laps, wanting that extra grip. So we're going to see the choose here in effect. Roberts will have choice, then Kruger, so on and so forth, down. As it looks like Kruger is going to go low along with Gaiman. Kind of a bit hard to do out of a chicane, but they're all making it nice and work greatly here. So Roberts, Kruger still front row here. Roberts going to go high, Kruger going to go low. Gaiman going to follow suit low, and it's going to be Roberts high. So that's Reynolds high, I should say. So that's going to be your first 2 rows. Further on down, you're going to have Featherplace and Michelle will be row number 3. Proudfoot, Wanzing, row 4. And Sears and Feimster will be your first 5 rows. Get 14 cars still running at the moment. All on the lead lap. Austin Mongold, only car out of the race so far tonight. And yeah, that's how it all shakes up at the moment. Again, for those tuning in, I am Kevin Young. That is Carmen Sienna, also here as well. This is the elimination race for the A² Cup Series. 4 drivers will be going home tonight, and we'll see who those 4 are as the race goes on, as we just are about to fit a start, stage number 2. Should be also worth noting as well as I'm looking through the field here. With Jeremy Breaux, obviously, the big message he was bringing up was returning home, if you will. Not been the best home. Obviously, he is returning home. You could say his homecoming was last week, but since he's going to do the rest of the season, hopefully this is now his kind of return here, if you will. Not the best homecoming comeback here. Currently P11 was involved in the opening lap incident with Tommy Reynolds and a few others. So looking to try to go forward here this stage and try to make this homecoming mean something. But Brent Roberts, current currently leading the field here at the moment. Isn't probably in a must-win situation, but at the very least, if he can get max points here in the stage, you can see his happens still kind of along with the rest of the outside line here, not elect to go through the chicane there as he'll slot back up here. Or more of a bus stop, if you will. So they're going to be going to stage lap 25 here. Pace car going to take the hard left into the pit lane, and that's going to be on Roberts' control. Green flag is out, and away we go for stage 2, and already Roberts fishtails it a bit. And that's going to open the door for Kruger to take it in the 1. Roberts going to try to slide in. We see a big X in the back. That's Wanzing that's involved. That's a playoff driver.
Single car. Thankfully, single car. But Wanzing now down to 14th place. Everyone did a really good job avoiding him this time.
Lead side by side right now. Kruger and Roberts side by side. Roberts going to try to challenge back here. Game in there to pick up the pieces. Trying to pick a lane here. Oh, Kruger, they go a little loose here. Kruger looking to try to take the corner. Looks like Feemster also got spun as well. He'll get it firing as well. But it looks like Kruger's going to win the battle of attrition here. She will take first. Roberts will take second, third for Gaiman. And fresh tires, Daniel Michel is looking to pass Tommy Reynolds there. Trying to get him make a move here in the bus stop, trying to get the 4th. Roberts under pressure here, will hold station on Gaiman. Gaiman going for the switchback. Michelle sideways, overcooks the corner, he clips someone, and now he's hit the wall. Michelle still stopped in the bus stop right now. He'll finally get it fired, but he's going to fall all the way back to 14th. So those fresh tires have not played wonders here, as now he is all the way back at 14th. You could say with the squirrels. And now he's looking to get no stage points here at the moment. Obviously, can still try to drive his way up here within the 10 laps, but it's going to be a big ask for that 25. So 3 playoff drivers all having trouble on this stage 2 restart here with Wanzing, Feemster, and Michelle. 2 Sunday Monday racing cars, too, to note that as well. And now David Wright's also had an issue as well. He is sideways. Almost hits Feemster there. You're going to see there goes Michelle around. So 4 playoff drivers have had problems here in the stage, which is not good for their hopes right now. Looks like Sears also had a mistake as well, so make it 5.
I was going to say make it 5 there, because that was another one. And there he goes, Breaux around. So Breaux up to 7th. And there's the cluster with Wanzing and Withers.
You got a battle for second here as well with Roberts and Gaiman. Cut back up to here. See Reynolds there in the distance. Kruger's gotten away 3 seconds so far, so she's smooth sailing. Roberts, though, trying to keep second. And he'll hold it at least for now, but Gaiman looks like he's got a little bit more pace than that 61. And I'm seeing shades from the real-life cup race of Busch and Allmendinger at the moment, where it looks like maybe that 61's just a bit faster, but that one's fast enough in the corners he needs to be in order to keep them behind, which is great news for the 70 as she is clear in distance here. Gaiman basically pushing that one through that corner there. My question is, how aggressive is this 61 going to be here? He's already got the win, so he has nothing to really fight for. But at the same point, there's a playoff car ahead of you that is fighting for their lives, and you don't want to end up dumping them by accident or making a mistake, because you never know in the round of 8 if the roles get reversed. You don't want to be in that situation. The 61's in a bit of an odd spot, if you will. Piranha Hill still slot in the third. He actually hit the wall just a tad there. Hits a flush, though. Not a lot of damage, so they'll keep it going. Reynolds, though, also there in fourth, but it looks like that's going to be the opening the 61 needs. He'll have a fender in here. It's going to have to go the long way around in this corner, though, as it's going to favor the inside. Ooh, they touched there. It's going to send the 61 a little wide, and that could open the door for Reynolds here. They are going to catch up to the 74 Breo here. And oh, Reynolds overcooks the brakes there just a bit. He'll slide it a little bit. And that's going to give a little bit of breathing room. 2 seconds going to be lost here. It's going to give breathing room to the 61 and the 1. But to see up the road there, Breo, remember, B-Tron Racing, team president, if you will, with a B-Tron car in the 61 and a B-Tron car in the 7. So we'll see how aggressive how willing he is to get out of the way of the 1 here, who is kind of holding up the team here, but obviously don't want to hold up too much. But looks like the 61 going to get a run through the bus stop here. He should be able to clear here, and he'll come down. So Roberts is finally going to lose second to the 61 of Gaiman. Gaiman now going to try to challenge his team boss here in the 74 and try to get around him kind of quickly here, as he is 1 down at the moment.
Yeah, say Brent Roberts
cooks it, overcorrects it, and hits the wall. 61 gets clear there, but yeah, 1 tapped it hard. Let's hope there's not too much damage.
I say Brent Roberts was Zimmer Kruger's best friend there early, and he's going to tag the wall again on the exit of turn 2.
Even harder.
Yeah, he's going to be struggling now a lot to get to the end of the stage.
His 1 friend is a big cushion from here till 10th, which is about 20 seconds, but when he's in a kind of a must-win, every point matters.
Yeah.
So we'll cut back up to a race leader, Emma Kruger, who was able to get around the 1 and then just kind of set sail. Has now got about a 7-second gap ahead of that 61 machine.
Reynolds is also
one more thing that's going to
Breo.
kind of help the car. Yep. 61 will get around Breo, like you were just said. But one thing that's going to help the 70 right now at the moment is the 2 drivers that were near the line. Actually, you can say the 3 drivers, Feemster, Oberstadt, and Wright. All are currently outside the top 10 at the moment, so they look like they're going to get 0 points in this stage. And with the gap between Feemster and Kruger at the end of stage 1 was about 8 points, that can easily gain it if things hold. Gaiman taps the wall there a little bit, and that's going to allow Reynolds to get a run through the corner, and he'll be promoted up to 2nd. Looking through the rest of the field here, see if there's any battles beginning to form here. Michelle is on the back of Sears for 7th. And then we got Withers and Oberstadt 10th and 11th, but that's about a 2.5 seconds. But this looks like kind of the closest thing we have here. This Gaiman is just trying to get back in a rhythm here and try to lock down the top 3 here at the moment. Maybe even try to chase down Reynolds if he can. But just trying to not make sure he puts any more damage on that 61 that'll have to fix on another pit stop. And remember, let's not count out Daniel Michelle here. He's actually, he collides with Sears. Oh, he's on the side. Daniel Michelle overcooks the bus stop here. There, you'll see him right there. He tried to make a move on Sears. And I thought he was trying to claw his way up, and he just ends up overcooking it, and he gets basically mounted by the bus stop. We'll take a look here again. fresh tires, had that incident with Reynolds on lap 1-2 of the stage. And you'll see her coming in deep into the corner, clips the bus stop, sends it sideways, basically on 2 wheels there. And similar incident, and he'll have to get it refired again through the bus stop. So second incident through said bus stop. He's luckily still in the top 10, but Sears not going to be too thrilled with that. See a little battle forming here. Wanzi was able to kind of take both spots here. He's up to 7th, but now have Sears and Michelle in his mirrors. One line power car, one Sunday Monday racing car, team boss and team driver, if you will, in 9th. Ooh, another lockup for Michelle there. You can see a puff. I saw a puff smoke, at least on my screen, where he kind of locked it up just a tad. It's going to cost him a little bit more time. So Michelle trying to go hard here, knowing kind of at the very least he wants to get as high as he can, knowing that the second stage is about to end here. He wants to get as close to the front as he can, so when he pits, try to get that track position, or at least try to get closer to the front so he can try to challenge for the lead again. Because he has that pace in that 25. It's clearly shown. Got one of the fastest laps tonight. Actually had the fast lap. Emma Kruger now possesses that currently, but has the second fastest lap. So if that 25 can get back towards the front, could try to challenge for this race win. That Sears playing a little bit defensive there in the corner. Michelle going to try to take the long way around. Can't get it done. I think Michelle's going to try to set up for something here at the bus stop. Looks like he's actually going to go side by side here for the end of the second corner of the oval. And he'll clear the 14, or at least almost clear the 14 here. But this time, I think Sears is going to be a little bit more conservative, not wanting the 25 to send it. He's actually going to lose it and hit the inside wall. Michelle has to be careful here. It's actually Proudfoot's coming into the pit lane here, currently pitting from P6, so I'll have to make a note of that. But Michelle has to be careful. If he damages up that car, could either A, get a meatball or a repair flag and has to come in to fix it, or B, could put himself in a spot where if he has to do enough damage, he has to fast repair it and then try to damages it again. He could take himself out of this race, and with him only coming into this race 4 points ahead of the line, that may not be the best thing in the world. But we'll cut back up to the 70. Currently still has about a 6-second gap over Tommy Reynolds. Tommy Reynolds has whittled it down a little bit, but it's kind of held station for around 6-7 seconds. But smooth sailing for that 70.
Reynolds not doing too bad right now either. Back up to second place. Going around Josh Gaiman too. Closest battle is between Better Place and Roberts, but Roberts continues to fall after tagging the wall a couple times earlier in the stage.
And I think it should be worth noting is that, oh, Roberts tried to maybe pit. He hits, oh, you just saw right there, he hit the tire barrier. And that's going to be a tow.
Yeah, because that's engine blown. That's an engine failure.
And that is not good. Trying to see, I'm going back here quickly to look at my own perspective. I think he was trying to, he was trying to pit, and he just, car kicked, and he sent it right to the tires. So a bit of a blunder coming into pit lane there. Tommy Withers also likes to pit as well, so a few cars electing to pit, try to get their pit stop done before the stage ends, and then try to capitalize through there. So as Kruger comes through the final couple corners here, should be entering lap 24, and this should close the pit lane. Now we'll signify 2 to go in the stage.
Closest battle on track right now remains the battle between Wanzing and Sears. Everything else pretty well thinned out at the moment. Tommy Withers will be the first car. No, excuse me. Jeremy Bray will be the first car lap down.
Yep. Unless Braille makes a mistake or elects to pit, that will not be changing. As Emma Kruger, next car she would catch would be the 21, and the 21 is at least a couple, like 2 corners away at the very least, like multiple distance. But one thing to kind of keep a note as well is Proudfoot elected the pit there. So Proudfoot will probably not come in when the pit window opens and the stage ends. So he'll cycle to the lead. Along with, he'll probably actually be the only one that stayed on the lead lap doing that strategy. So we'll see how it all plays out. But at least, at the very least, we know is unless the 22 will be inheriting the lead when the stage ends here and the pit stops start. But Ember Crew just crossed the line. 1 lap to go in the stage. If Sears wants to get to top 5, he's going to have to push here. Ooh, Wanzing a little deep through the bus stop there. That's going to give Sears some time here. You can see Wanzing basically mount that corner.
Look at the track map. Keep an eye on the 70 of Kruger as she gets ready to rejoin the oval here. On the final lap of stage 2.
The thing is what's not going to help Sears is Wanzing gets a little loose there.
That was going to say a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to say, though, that Sears is going to be running against the clock here because the stage ends as soon as Kruger crosses the line. And there's not a lot of convenient passing points here for that 14. So he's going to have more hope for that 9 to make a mistake rather than the 14 sending some if he wants that 1 extra point. 70 going through 3 and 4 as we speak. So Sears, if he's going to want to do something, he's going to have to do it now. Probably his last good chance is going to be setting up through the oval because he won't get to the bus stop.
No, he won't.
But as 70 hits the last corner, she will cross the line now, and that will end the stage. So it's going to be Kruger, Reynolds, Gaiman, Feather Place, Wanzing, Sears, Michelle, Proudfoot, Stefan Oberstadt, and David Wright will be your top 10 here in the stage. And as this all plays out here, one more thing to note as well. Brent Roberts has pulled it behind the wall. His day is done, meaning that that's going to be another driver you can throw to the playoff graveyard, meaning only two drivers have been confirmed elimination, Ryan Pinnell and Brent Roberts, meaning 2 more drivers are going to have to join for the end of this final stage. So as we wait for the pit stops, the field gets bunched up here, and we'll see the pit stops conclude here in stage number 2. And Carmen is doing the number crunches for the standings at the moment. We'll get you those updated as soon as we can. But it's going to be interesting to see, because Proudfoot pitted before the stage end. He stayed on the lead lap. He should elect to stay out here, take the lead. And then the question remains for the remaining cars. I assume everyone's coming in to take tires and fuel up. But makes me wonder if someone maybe tries to take a Brent Roberts strategy and roll the dice, but with no cautions preferably happening on road courses, we're probably running green to the finish, so that may not be the wisest decision. But we've seen drivers take weirder elements of strategy and make it work, so we'll have to see on that point. So his cars can elect to pit here this time by if they choose. We'll see if anyone elects to.
Imagine most of the field will, minus those that pit at the end of the stage.
Yep.
Wansing stays out.
Yeah, Wansing's gonna roll the dice here. He did not pit at the end of the stage, so he'll inherit the lead. Proudfoot will also elect to step. Obviously, he pitted, and Tommy Withers, but Tommy Withers is one down, so maybe he was hoping to try to get the wave around there, but will not conspire.
So pull up points now as they run.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle gains another spot here. Federal Place scored some stage points to get himself back in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
Kruger's officially moved into the top 8, but 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a crucial stage for her, with Feimster scoring nothing.
Yeah.
So
now it's game on. You can see Wright and Overstat, they're tied at 369, Feimster at 364. So that's a 5-point swing right now between in and out. After that, though, it's if you're Michelle on up, you're not fully safe, but with a cushion of at least 11 points here, and with so many cars running remaining, the likelihood of you keeping in is relatively high. So if you're probably 5th above, you're looking all right, unless things go catastrophe wrong. And for the final spot eliminating, Sears right now is obviously below the line. He's still in a must-win. He's actually now unofficially in a must-win. No more stage points to be had. He has to win to get in. But for that last driver that could fall out, you got a good battle here forming between Feimster, Kruger, Oberstadt, Wright. All 4 drivers fighting for 3 spots.
yeah, pretty big swing there as far as the points are concerned, with obviously the longest stage coming up.
Yeah. It's back to live action. You can see how they all shaked out in pit lane. Should be worth noting, Reynolds and Gaiman did not take tires. And it should be worth noting, Reynolds and Gaiman also didn't take tires in stage number 1. So they electing to go for track position in both stages. They will be the first out of the pit lane, 3rd and 4th respectively. Kruger, Sears, Wright all took 4 tires. Should be also worth noting that Michelle is still on the pit lane at the moment. Probably a lot of damage clicks, looking to fix up the car the best he can here, as he's not burned a fast spur. Well over 2 minutes on the clock for that number 25 and counting. So he should be getting out soon here, hopefully. If not, he's going to go 1 down, and that could be a bit of a damage to the sails, if you will. Choose in effect. We'll see how it all shakes out. Should be worth noting, Wright, Sears elect to come back in the pit lane here. But it's going to be Wansing and Proudfoot row 1, Reynolds, Gaiman row 2, Kruger, Feather Place row 3, Feimster, Oberstadt row 4, Sears, Wright row 5. For those tuning in as well, just in case you were curious, if you're looking at the left pylon right now, drivers marked in red are currently in the playoffs. Drivers marked in black are not in the playoffs. So Proudfoot, only driver in the top 10 that is currently not in the playoffs, looking to be a bit of a spoiler, if you will. One more question that does propose is we've seen in the outside line. We saw it during the first restart, the open the race. We saw it the restart for the end, start of stage 2. The outside line gets a little bit squirrely when restarting. We saw it with Kruger. We saw it with Roberts. Makes me wonder here, what's going to happen to Wansing here? Does have control, so he can go when he wants, but that could also put effect if he spins it or gets it a little bit loose. especially with those old tires, similar to Roberts during stage 2 restart. It makes me wonder in regard, can Proudfoot maybe challenge going into 1?
It's possible. I think with the issue with the outside lane on the restart is that they're trying to make a sharper exit because they have to go wider and they have to hold to the wall. So it's a sharper turn that they're trying to accelerate out of. And if they've still got the wheel turned, it's going to loop them around, which is why they've been struggling. You see some drivers not taking the chicane, which is pretty customary.
Yeah, we may have to break some breaking news here. Emma Kruger's right now having some dropping issues. She's currently down to 12th because of those dropping issues.
Oh, dear.
And reports coming out, she's having some blinking issues. Obviously, she's going to try to get back up here and get her spots before the restart happens. So she is going to keep her spots here, but that is not good because if it blinks and it keeps blinking, she's going to have to try to just pace it around. She says she's got it fixed, so... But she had a blink out there for a few.
She's third on the outside lane for those wondering, the 70 car behind Josh Gaiman.
Yep.
Pace car is in. Second half of the race begins here. And Wansing tried getting the jump on that, but older tires did not help him at all.
I'm wondering
if it goes through.
I wonder if they'll call a jump on that. Reynolds thought it was a jump, at least in his radio call.
I would not be surprised.
So we'll see how they rule it, but yeah, old tires prevail there. Kind of what I was hinting at through the last 2 restarts. Oh, 14 around in the distance. He'll spin it, and that's not good as he will fall all the way to the tail end here. See if he got any help with that incident. Now he just lost on his own, but...
Whoa, and Kruger just spun around.
Oh, she has. Oh, she's still blinking, which is not good either.
I was going to say, like, she had a lot of reprieve there because Sears slowed a lot of the field up, and then she just gave all that time up because she was 3.5 seconds to the good as Reynolds tries to battle with Gaiman and gets to the front of him.
Oh, we had an incident with Michelle. I think the bus stop as well. Abreu, someone's loose.
A lot of people struggling now.
I can confirm one more thing. The 9's got a black flag. Restart violation. He is coming in. Well, has to come in to serve a penalty. So 9 jump to start. He's going to have to serve penalty here. Reynolds going to try to make a move on him. Gaiman as well. And they'll both get successfully around. So this stage 3 has fallen on its head here. And this is going to get interesting. As we see Michelle here trying to make a move on Abreu. Nowhere to go. Clips the grass there. Ever since the end of stage 1, Michelle has been kind of stuck in traffic, and he's kind of just not been able to get it going. He's got a fast car, but just has trouble getting around people, it seems. Well, making a mistake in regard. Kruger gets around David Wright. They're actually still side by side. See in the distance there, Kruger gets around. Overstep looped it in the bus stop. He'll get it going now. So as we've hit 25 to go, this stage has gone on its head here. Emma Kruger, who's looking good to point her way in, has had been connection issues. She's gotten back in the top 10 at the moment. She'll probably gain one more spot when Seth Wansing pits to get the black flag. And then you got the fight on for the final chance to get in, with Sears currently outside the top 10. Being in a must-win, he'll be one of the other drivers to join the playoff graveyard. Unless he wins, meaning that the final 4 between Wright, Feimster, Kruger, and Oberstadt, they're all fighting. See who stays in. Right now, Kruger has to try to just damage mitigation here. towards the front. Reynolds has caught the 22 quickly here. Reynolds and Gaiman are trying, basically top three. With Proudfoot, Reynolds, and Gaiman. Fed Place also moves around Wanzing, but Wanzing's obviously going to have to start the pen. But Proudfoot and Reynolds and Wanzing's we see right up here with Gaiman. Gaiman and Reynolds both won. Gaiman won Texas. Reynolds won Talladega. They're both locked into the playoffs. So they do not have to worry about winning this race to lock themselves in. They're just racing for pride. Proudfoot obviously not in the playoffs, looking to win this race for his own pride and glory, but Reynolds is going to put a fight on this one. Reynolds has been one of the quite of the strong cars at the road course, one of the few drivers not named Aiden Norman to win at a road course, even though some would put some asterisks on that, but we'll not bring those wounds up now. So Reynolds, though, looking to try to get around that 22 here. He's getting the runs. Something happens with the two. Gaiman's there in the distance.
Yeah, pushing hard. Trying to keep up with these two.
Mm-hmm. And it's probably going to be a 3-horse race with these two, as Feather Place is about 6 seconds back at the moment. Far distance away. Swanson's now officially coming in to serve his penalty. And they'll vote everyone up a spot. Brao to Michelle to Kruger to Feemster to Wright. Everyone will gain a spot here. Again, they're all playing with house money in this top three, so kind of gloves are off. The only, I guess you could say, downside is if you dump someone, you may expect something in return, and Proudfoot not being in the playoffs and the next round being back in the situation is a little bump there from the 7. You don't want to make enemies, especially this close to a championship conclusion. Reynolds clips the wall there just a tiny bit. Gonna give Proudfoot some breathing room. So we hit 22 to go here. Proudfoot clips the wall just a bit.
They're hustling big time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he was able to hold off Aiden Norman for 15 laps at the Glen. So he has speed at road courses. I was saying that during stage 1, but the door's going to open here for the 7. 7 had a fender, but the 7 couldn't get a fender in there clean enough. And he'll have to retreat for another battle. Again, how impatient will Gaiman be if he doesn't think the 7, again, next man up, if you will. The 7, if the 61 doesn't think the 7's going to get it, the 61 say, look, I'm going to pass you, and I'm going to show you how it's done. Obviously, they're teammates, but they're both fighting for the win. They're both locked in the next rounds. There's no real reason to have team orders here. You fight for what you can get and who can win. Who's the fastest out of 3?
Yeah, probably trying to tiptoe at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly older tires there on that 22 car. Michelle and Kruger not far apart either.
Yeah, they're having a battle. Brao as well. That's for the top 5. Michelle about to get around Brao here for the top 5 here, it looks like, going to the bus stop. Oh,
Maybe.
They touch! Yeah, he's going to force it through here. He's going to flash the hand, going to get around. Put Michelle up the 5th. Kruger going to try to make it a 2-for-1 special here at Brao's expense. and she will successfully do it as well. So Michelle up the 5th, Kruger up the 6th.
Two of the fastest cars in this race. Trying to make their way forward at the same time.
Yeah, you could say these two cars definitely, at the end of stage 1, you thought these guys were going to be fighting for the win, or these guys and gals fighting for the win. But at this point, right now, battling for 5th, not the race either would want at the moment, but it's going to be a tall ask to make up 20 seconds in 20 laps. They'd have to make up a second a lap. Don't like the odds, but if top 3 times kind of fall off, it could be worth noting. Gaiman, though, making a move around Reynolds here, and he'll successfully get it done. So I think Reynolds may have made a slight mistake somewhere, as a lot of time has been lost here. Looking just to see what happened is Gaiman. Oh, yeah, got a little loose, and Gaiman actually hit the wall too. So, just coming off the entry to Kern, tune 1 in the section. Oh, Michelle comes in the pit lane here. I think Kruger almost ran into the back of her. Of no call situation. Luckily, it's avoided, but Michelle coming in here, he will pit. Interesting call, but we'll see how it all plays out. You'll see the battle here for a second. Gaiman and Reynolds still fighting. Proudfoot's now gotten some breathing room. 1.5 clear. This battle for a second there. You can see that little white car machine. Breo and Kruger are coming in this time by as well. You can see the rest of the field coming in as well. So final pits of the night, and 7 get it slowed down in time. Line's actually there, so it looks like he'll be okay. But can't avoid speeding. And they'll both be coming in along with Breo and Kruger. Leaving Proudfoot in Feather Place. And we saw this at the Glen. Proudfoot and Norman were fighting. Norman came in. Proudfoot stayed out long and lost the time he had and got beat by the undercut very badly. Does the 22 remember that? And if he does he try to cover this off with Reynolds and Gaiman? Should also be noting as well, Reynolds elected to go for only fuel only, while Gaiman took 4 fresh tires. So there's a bit of a mixed bag as well.
Yeah.
Because Reynolds has not pitted any time this race for 4 fresh tires, while Gaiman, that's his first set he's used. There's Breo and Kruger coming out of the pit lane as well. Both elected to take fuel only, but under the last pit stop, they both took 4 fresh tires, so they have a lot better wear than the cars around.
Proudfoot will come in.
Yep, he'll cover it off. Question is, will Feather Place follow suit, or if Feather Place stay out one more lap, he will stay out. So the lead will be handed over to Feather Place at the moment. Now the question is, if Proudfoot takes 4 tires, the lead will be handed to Reynolds. If he takes no tires, then he probably still may lose the lead, but the question is, will he at all? Did Reynolds do enough on the undercut to pass? Is the 22's leaving? Yep, fuel only for him. A little longer of a stop, though. 5.9 for Reynolds, 7.97 for Proudfoot. It's going to be a little bit closer coming out here, but the 22 should clear the spot. So now you got elements of strategy here. You got Proudfoot at Reynolds, both on fuel-only stops. Proudfoot has better tires than Reynolds.
Incorrect.
Incorrect?
Because actually,
Reynolds never pitted for any 4 fresh tires after the race. Gaiman pitted, and then
Proudfoot pitted for 4 tires before the stage. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So the tire advantage favors Proudfoot. Gaiman has 4 fresh tires, but now he's 10 seconds back. So Gaiman's going to have to hustle with those fresh Goodyears to try to get back up to these two. But if not, this could be the battle for the win we're seeing on our screens. Feather Place will take his pit stop, leaving only Sears as one of the only cars not make his last pit stop of the race. But he is currently in 8th position.
And Feather Place lead for Gaiman.
He did. So actually, Feather Place, so Gaiman. It's weird because Gaiman is in an element where we've always seen him. He takes no tires, no tires, no tires. Took 4 tires here. It looks like it's kind of bit him in the rear. And now I'll have to contend with Feather Place, who elects also to take no tires. And now it's going to be a big hustle for the 61, but focusing on this battle up front. What can Reynolds do? Oh, Proudfoot made a mistake there through the bus stop. That could allow Reynolds a run. This track being so difficult to pass out, any opportunity to try to get around, maybe the death blow, if you will. Proudfoot able to avoid the charge here for now, but what can the 7 do? Oh, a lever a little bit wobbly for the 22 as well. Kept his foot in it, though. He'll keep position. But as 7's gotten the 22's head. Ooh, 7 rotates the corner there. A little drifty. It's a rotation. Cost him just a little time. But Proudfoot's still holding charge. Now this feels like we're in the camp right now. If Proudfoot makes a mistake, Reynolds is going to be there to capitalize. If Reynolds makes a mistake, Proudfoot could have the chance to pull away. Driving on the edge, and the first one to make a mistake could be the basically game set match, if you will. Still 16 to go, but neither of these drivers usually make mistakes. And when they do, it's in that regard usually the death blow, if you will. Coming to the 15 to go here, Proudfoot still holding charge. See, by the battle box just shows you how close they are here. Just how the times are just so close. All right there, Proudfoot makes a slight mistake. Reynolds is going to be there, but he's not going to have the advantage in the corner here. It's going to favor Proudfoot. Reynolds knows this, may try a switchback. He will try it. He go. Looks like maybe a little loose, maybe a bit of net code. Reynolds is going to stop. And that's going to allow Proudfoot, Feather Place, and Gaiman to catch up here.
Now it's netcode, too.
100%. Reynolds knows this, doesn't want to get in hot water. Going to kind of just say, all right, look, it is what it is. Let's race again. Now, though, the gloves are back off. He's going to try to challenge to the bus stop. Proudfoot will keep it. And this is the kind of the moment, if you will, for Feather Place and Gaiman. They just saw the prey make a mistake, and now that's game on. Gaiman has fresher tires than all of them. Feather Place, 1 win total this season, kind of a quiet playoff, if you will. Winning at this Roval could easily set himself up for the final 4 weeks. Give him that momentum.
And now there's 4. A simple mistake. Just put double the cars bound for the race lead in contention here.
Yeah, you just made your problem worse indirectly. And obviously Reynolds could have went away, but doesn't want to risk penalty or wrath. Just because of that reason, slowed up, did the gentleman thing, if you will, to ensure that no wrath comes from the stewards. Even if they didn't rule it as that, you still don't want to cause ire. We know Reynolds can get the run off this corner. You can see there, he is there again. Just not close enough.
Oh, he's
Proudfoot
there
hits the
now,
wall,
though.
Yeah.
He is 100% there now.
He should get the run here, too. Proudfoot's wall tap's going to allow that 7 to drift on the inside. We'll see in the bus stop who's later on the brakes.
Fed place a little bit later, but not late enough.
Yep.
And finally, Reynolds goes through. Second time I'm asking, and now do the floodgates open. Fed place up next.
Person's going to even Proudfoot to answer back. $13 to go here. And the 22 get back on the horse. We know he has the pace. He can hold off. He even has a fast 22, but what can he do here?
There's not a whole lot he can do right now. As he tags the wall again, and that time it does cause damage to that right front fender.
Now, how bad is that going to affect the car in question? Reynolds is liking this. He's getting a bit of a cushion here.
Thing out a little bit, this time was Reynolds with the advantage. So far, easy sailing with 12 laps to go.
And speaking of 12 to go as well, we should also keep an eye. Remember, going into stage 2, this is an elimination race. 4 drivers will go home after tonight. We know 2 of them. Sears, it's not looking good. We could probably throw him in the 3 at the moment. And then right now, the 4 drivers I said were fighting over the last spot. If you, well, the 3 out of the last, well, basically 1 going home, 3 going in. Kruger, Feemster, Wright, Oberstadt. Kruger's currently in 6th. Feemster, Wright, Oberstadt, 9th, 10th, and 11th right now. And I think, if my math is serving me correct, Feemster is currently on the outside looking in at the moment, because he was 2 back of Emma Kruger, and he was like 4 back of that position with Breo, though. Out of this race, he just disconnected it. Promotes Wright, Oberstadt, and Feemster all up a spot here. Right now, Kruger's still in the save zone, and then it gets a little complicated with Feemster, Wright, and Oberstadt.
Yeah.
If Feemster can get higher up here, it's a big ass, though, because the only cars in with logistic catching distance is Sears, who's 10 off the road, and that's Emma Kruger, who's about 30 seconds ahead of Kevin Feemster. So there's not a lot of cars left, so he's going to have to hope someone makes a mistake in this top 4. But even then, that would promote Kruger up a spot. So I don't know. Feemster, I guess, has to hope something happens between Wright and Oberstadt here, because they're battling, having a ding-dong battle for 9th and 10th.
Everyone knows the championship battles are on the line.
Proudfoot gotten some breathing room from Proudfoot and Gaiman. Find his element back here. He is kind of reeling in that 7, but like a 10th. He gains a 10th one lap, loses a 10th the next lap. Last time by, for instance, he was slightly slower, but this time he looks like a little bit faster. He's not consistently gaining. And even if, like I said, I'm saying throughout the whole night of this broadcast, he's in a situation where he's just, it's not he's in a situation, but this track itself is not a passing track. It's very hard, even if you get the runs, to really set something up without a car making a mistake. But Reynolds just made a mistake through the bus stop. Could give Proudfoot a chance here. He's easy cutting 3 to 4 tenths there. Now he's within a more of a striking distance. About minimizing mistakes. Does Reynolds have a mistake in, and will Proudfoot make another one? If both make a mistake, will Final Players of the Game be able to capitalize? We've hit 10 to go here. Still a long way from pay dirt, though. Many a mile remaining. Many turns remaining, if you will. 120 to be exact turns remaining, so before we get to the finish. Oh, big news. Emma Kruger just had a connection drop.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I think. Says she dropped down a downline packing loss.
Yeah, that's a connection issue. That's heartbreaking.
That's heartbreaking. This is going to be interesting if she just reconnected. She had a big gap to the other cars, but she's probably going to go one down here. Doing math in my head here, she was 2 back of Feimster. Feimster now is going to pass Kruger here. Then the question comes down to, where's this all going to sort out? If she can get back quickly, can she in turn stay ahead of Wright and Oberstadt? Looks like she's not going to, how it cycles out. But then the question is, what can she do here?
That's just heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm. Should be the leaders of all some lap traffic here. Speaking of Oberstadt and Wright, they'll both get through here, and that's going to give basically a big gap here to Reynolds. Kruger's officially back in the lobby. She's not left the pit lane yet, but even that she's still kind of blinking. I don't know if that problem is even settled yet. But right now with Wright kind of holding up proud, if you can just see in the distance there, that is going to give even a bigger cushion, and that may be all she wrote here. As we've hit 8 to go here, Reynolds has got a 3-second gap over Proudfoot. All right, a little update on the situation. Kruger has rejoined the circuit, and she is 1 down, and she still looks like she's having a bit of blinking issues, but at least for a positive at the very least, she's 4 seconds back of David Wright and 5 seconds back of Stefan Oberstadt. So she can gain 2 more spots, and if she can get those spots, she'd still be ahead of Feimster. So this is not done yet by a long shot. She has to, but right now, if she it's basically do or die for that 70. She has to catch 3 and the 42 and the 3 if she wants to get through and pass them. If not, she's on the outside looking in. So this is going to get racy. We're focusing on the battling for second. Oh, not set, battle for somewhat second here. Proudfoot still holding off. David Wright overcooks the chicane. Kruger going to get around. So now Kruger's up to 9th, but her connection's going to have to hold here. Because if my math is correct, I think they're tied.
Right now, yeah.
Tiebreaker would go by best overall finish throughout the 3 rounds, or is it top 10s, or
I don't know.
Something. We saw it happen regardless of that, though. Right now, though, her main thing right ahead is the 3. There is the 3. Speaking of the 3.
Yeah.
Kruger has the better pace, but is still iffy on connection. If it can hold for 7 laps and she can get clear, she'll be safe by 1 point.
Talk about a wild turn of events.
Yeah, big turn of events indeed. She was comfortably in. Now she's going to get clear here. So now she is back into the playoffs. I believe, I'm going to say Feimster is currently out. the moment. 6 to go. Reynolds cross made 6 to go. Still got a 4-second gap. It's actually grown to a 4-second gap over Proudfoot. Wright has now lost the spot to Wanzing. So now Wright's hemorrhaging points a bit. So bearing a mistake, Reynolds looks like he's got this race in tow at the moment. That can obviously change if he makes a mistake or something happens if a caution come out not. Right now we're focusing on the points battle. Kruger's still on iffy connection. She keeps blinking. She needs to keep the spot over Oberstadt and Wright. And Wanzing too. She cannot lose any more spots because if she loses one position, she'd be in tiebreaker. If she falls back more, she would be out. We'll focus on this battle we got right now for him in between third. Feather Place and Gaiman. Gaiman locked in the playoffs. Feather Place basically comfortably locked in at the moment. Oh, change events. Sears just pitted. Feemster up a spot. Now they're tied again. Speaking of line power, things are changing quite aggressively here. Feather Place wants to get on the podium. Gaiman trying to stay on the podium. So can Feather Place get around Gaiman here? Should also be noting as well, Kruger just got around Sears, so Kruger's now 1 point to the good again over Feemster. Yeah. Meanwhile, Gaiman is holding up this charge from Feather Place. Feather Place seems to have the faster car here at the moment. Reynolds will come across the line here with 4 to go.
Oh, Gaiman goes around.
Oh, Gaiman's looped it right into the wall. It's going to allow the 34 to go around. Michelle's there also in the distance, looking to try to take 4th.
Unforced error by Gaiman, just a little bit too aggressive on the curves. Mm-hmm. And Michelle gonna force his way through side by side.
Oh. Michelle's not locked in. Every point matters here.
Oh, and Gaiman locks up. Michelle goes through with 4 to go.
Gaiman gonna fall down to 5th. Luckily, he can't fall any more here. Feemster is like 40 seconds back. Unless he crashes. It's the end of the road for the 61 to fall. But Kruger now kind of blinking in 61's mirror. Could play a bit of a fortune, if you will. Does the 61 just kind of say, oh, okay, that was a bit of a lag.
That was latency.
Yeah, latency caused that one. Seeing a hood fly, though. Obviously, Kruger does not have to press the issue. Next car behind would be Sears. Sears about to bust up behind here, but Gaiman also knowing that thing is blinking to play a bit of a tow with hand. Back here with Wright and Oberstadt. Wright's got back around Oberstadt. Oberstadt's lost time. This is interesting to know because I think both cars are currently safe at the moment. Maybe. Actually, I'm not 100% because Feemster's up to 5th. They're down to 10th and 11th. I think because they were tied, right? And Oberstadt were tied. So this is quite literally, I think, also a battle here to see who can possibly get in as well. Because Feemster was ahead of Kruger. Now Kruger's ahead of Feemster. Feemster, though, is enough ahead. I believe by 5 points is enough ahead of Oberstadt.
So
and Wright.
the gap margin right now. So it's 3,069 points for Wright and Oberstadt, who's in your screen right now, as of the second stage.
Yes.
3,066 for Kruger. 3 points. 364 for Feemster.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 points. Feemster's currently 6.
This is a battle to make it in.
Yes.
Because Feimster's 6th.
Yes. Feimster can't fall anymore unless he goes a lap down.
Well, right now, this is interesting. I think Feimster's the one in trouble because Kruger's a point behind because Feimster doesn't have a win. Wright has 2.
Oberstadt has 1.
Wright has 3. Oberstadt has 1, and wins with the tiebreaker. They're the first tiebreaker. So Feimster right now would be tied with Oberstadt and lose.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh dear.
Right. So, this is right now. If you're 21, you're hoping you don't want to say this, but you're hoping the 70 connects out or crashes or something. Because Wright and Oberstadt can't go any lower. Breo's currently out of this race. Withers, Roberts, Mungold, all of this race. They can't fall anymore.
This is a checkmate.
Yeah. With 2 to go, you got to hope the 70s connection drops one more time and Sears able to get around.
This is wild.
Wild indeed. So Reynolds is going through the bus stop here. He's again, they got around Oberstadt and Wright. He was able to get a cushion, and he set sail here. He was very strong at the road courses. Again, only driver not named Abe Norman to win at a road course this season in A squared. And for the final one, he's looking poised to do it as he's coming through the last couple corners here to start the white flag lap. He will take it. Reynolds looks poised, but now the question remains, can Kruger's connection hold? And if she can, is that going to be curtains on the 21?
A lot of drama here in the final lap, but not for Tommy Reynolds, who has a 6.3 second gap to Brandon Proudfoot.
And he had that very cold summer slump after he won at, convincingly enough, the last road course in the summer months with the Charlotte Robots. We had walks in between, but was looking good and then had a big slump. Got the win back at Talladega last week and is now looking to find his form again here as he's going through the bus stop the final time, puts Feimster a lap down. And if he can hang out the last couple corners, it's going to be win number 6 for him as he is trying to chase down his now team boss, Jammer Barrows, wins in a season record. He's looking poised to do it, at least with the momentum he's having.
4 laps to go, or 4 races left in the season. The round of 12 will end with another Tommy Reynolds victory. He wins at Charlotte. And 3 extra bonus points for the round of 8. Brandon Proudfoot again missing out just barely. Second place for him. Brandon Proudfoot finishes 3rd. Then Daniel Michel 4th ahead of Josh Gaiman in top 5.
Gameser will finish 6th. Kruger will finish 7th. Sears, Gaiman now will finish top 5. They all finish up here in order. Wright and Oberstadt are still having a bit of a fight here to the finish, as they finish up here as well. Remember, Reynolds was sideways lap 1, and he was able to bring it back and win this race. But here's they come for the last bus stop. Both drivers, we think, are good in right now at the moment. We'll get confirmation on that. If not, this could be for the battle for the end. Right now, Oberstadt sending it right over the mountains of the curbs to the line. It's going to be Wright, then Oberstadt. So, and that's how it's going to finish there. Wright will get the spot of Oberstadt. Even Race Control was watching this last battle here for the last lap, and they had a good ding-dong here. He's even tipping his hat to him. So as the numbers crunchers run the numbers, we can confirm for a fact Roberts, Pennell, Roberts, and Sears all eliminated. They're out. As for the last spot, still a little bit of questions, but right now we think it's Feimster, but we'll let the Carmen's math and the Steward's math come out here to confirm who's in and who's out. But right now we can at least confirm Sears, Roberts, and Pennell, Ryan Pennell, are all out and will not be fighting for a championship here in the remaining weeks. That's Game in the chat saying new tires are 2 seconds slower. Was not happy with his tire choice here. As Reynolds burns it down here. He's burning it down. Happy with himself. 6 wins on the season for him. For those still tuning in, do not go anywhere. We'll have the top 3 interviews coming up in a little bit. But a very chaotic last round here.
Oh my goodness.
You just came up with some math here. What do you got, Carmen? Hit us with it.
Well, we'll let Tommy Reynolds burn it down here. A phenomenal job. Obviously, he's clouded up the entire front straightaway. But this is something else. Points as they run. Reynolds, we knew was in. Gaiman, we knew were in. Wanzing's third. Fetter placed fourth. The gap between 6th and 9th, 2 points.
Oh.
David Wright, Emma Kruger, Steven Oberstadt, and Kevin Feemster in that order.
Mm-hmm.
They make the round to 8. Feemster misses out on tiebreaker. Oberstadt's win at Talladega in the spring. Feemster has not won in the A-Square Cup Series. So that's the tiebreaker there between Oberstadt and Feemster. So Feemster misses out on tiebreaker once again. And Sears was 22 points adrift, so he needed a way better race tonight.
You feel for Feemster, because remember, Feemster came so close to winning at Atlanta.
Yeah.
If he wins this, the tiebreaker goes to the next procedure. Maybe he wins it, maybe he doesn't. But your heart aches for Feemster, because it looked like Feemster was already looking out. Then Kruger has that connection issue. It looks like Feemster's now in, Kruger's out. Kruger, then with connection still blinking, is able to drive past, stay 1 lap down, able to drive past both Oberstadt, Wright, and then even Sears, who went 1 down. Oh, so both gained a spot, Feemster, and was able to come back. And that's just adversity for Emma Kruger. Oberstadt, remember, was on the line last time. We thought going at the end of Bristol, we thought he was out, Leiter was in, and yet Oberstadt survived that round. And here he is again, getting in by a basically tiebreaker, and he will keep his dream alive. And he'll
once
be
again by tiebreaker, because that's what got him in last time, was tiebreaker.
Because he got, again, 1 win over no wins with Leiter, 1 win over no wins for... So 2 tiebreakers.
Oberstadt's skating through.
You would think that, again, a nonchalant Talladega race back in May not have this much implications on this championship.
You'd be surprised.
It does. Honestly, you should probably bring back that scheme, because it brought him some luck that night, and it's clearly helping tonight. So that will be the top 8. Feemster will be the 1 adrift. He will be joining Sears, Roberts, and Ryan Pinnell all on the outside looking in. But Tommy Reynolds will get a 6th win, and he will get those 3 extra bonus points going into next week.
Absolutely. Fantastic job tonight. Again, have to update this one real quick, because his last win now today for Tommy Reynolds. A fantastic drive, top of the board going into the round of 8. Absolutely phenomenal drive for Tommy Reynolds here tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So in the span of 2 weeks, he's gone from 4 to 6 wins on the season.
Mm-hmm. And with still 4 rounds to go, he's got some strong tracks in that wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Could easily add to that as well. Try to make 7 for the 7.
We'll start off with the championship interviews here. We'll start off from the top. We'll start off with Tommy Reynolds, seeing him on track here. Race winner for the 6th time this season. Tommy, this is Carmen from the ABM booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
What a drive. 6th win of the season for you here tonight. A fantastic drive. A lot of battling there in that 3rd stage, but once you got that clean air, you saw that was key. Walk us through it tonight.
The crazy thing is, I think that might be number 7 now. So I was thinking about that. I might be wrong, but I thought I tied Jeremy. So we'll see. But yeah, the race that kind of wasn't meant to be honest with you. Rough in practice, I was about half a second down on Daniel, and then in qualifying, I was about 0.3 slower. And then it was kind of that first lap, just going from all the way to the back to, I think it's 7th at the end of the stage, so that was good. And yeah, after that, it was kind of just full sail forward. Obviously, last week we kind of talked about it, saying that I had nothing to lose, so yeah, drove the wheels off of it and ended up well for us.
Yeah, and you are correct. It is you did tie Jeremy tonight with 7 because you had a couple wins early in the season as well. A phenomenal drive here this evening. Obviously, 2 wins back to back to break up that almost 3-month winless drought that you had going on through the summer. A lot of momentum going into the round of 8 now, and a lot of tracks that we've seen you be successful at before. How are you feeling going into the round of 8 with Las Vegas next week?
Not a track I particularly care for, but the 2 others I do really enjoy. So, should be fun. I expect a little bit more chaos the next round, especially with people who aren't in the playoffs, maybe fighting more. So, we'll see. I still don't know who didn't make it and made it. So, it should be interesting. But Vegas is. I think it'll be another strategy race, kind of like it was in the spring, so I'm not particularly looking forward to that, but it should be good.
Yeah, to fill you in on everyone that made it into the round of 8, it's you, Gaiman, Wanzing, Fetter Place, Michelle, Wright, Kruger, and Oberstadt on tiebreaker again.
Okay.
So, very interesting round of 8 there. Kevin Feemster missed out. Based on that tiebreaker, because Oberstadt, your teammate there for Beachron, won in the Spring Talladega race, so that's carried him now twice. So, very interesting how that race is determined the playoff situation there. But looking strong there. Again, Homestead after Vegas, as you mentioned, a track that you're looking forward to, and then Martinsville after that, rounding out the round of 8. So, a couple tracks right that 7 cars wheelhouse here coming up for the next month or so. Before I let you go, though, and let you get ready for the next week of racing, obviously a lot of exciting stuff coming up here. If there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congrats again. Record-tying win tonight. 7th win on the season for Tommy Reynolds for Beachron Racing tonight.
Hopefully not the last either. Thank you to Smeel Racing Designs. And that's all I got. Yeah.
A phenomenal job. Nonetheless, race win number 7 for car number 7. Tommy Reynolds victorious at the Charlotte Roval with Las Vegas next week. Tommy, enjoy the race win, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again very soon.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Tommy Reynolds, race winner tonight. We'll talk now to Brandon Proudfoot, 2nd place finisher here at the Charlotte Roval. Again, close on a road course, but not close enough. 2nd place for the Presidential Racing driver. Brandon, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. Get a copy.
Yep, I got you.
Obviously, another race where you're close. You have some pace, but strategy kind of undoes things a little bit. Walk us through, obviously, how that race was for you, and if there's anything you possibly could have done to change the outcome for you.
I think I could have pushed a little more. I didn't realize how well the car could take the curbs there until actually the 3rd stage when I got out in open air. Strategy, I think it played out okay. I undercut the end of the 2nd stage to get a new set of tires and have the field position because realistically, I don't need to be up there fighting tooth and nail for the stage because these guys are in the playoffs. But if I could have the opportunity to get out of the way and let them battle behind me, I'm going to do that. And came up with about 7 laps short for them.
Obviously, a phenomenal pace nonetheless for you. And again, it's another race where you're in that range. We talk about Watkins Glen, your debut. Obviously, we know what that 22 car can do. Obviously, again, here tonight at Charlotte. It's one of those things where, and we see this again with you in HTL as well, where you're close, but it seems like there's something a little bit missing there. What is it about this car that makes that final little drive so different compared to the start of the race?
Well, compared here in HTL, I don't have to qualify here. No, but all things considered, it's different going from week to week, especially between both communities. The setups are a little bit of a challenge tonight. Like 1 week you could have a car that's really, really nice, and then like for example, last week I believe we had 3.4 degrees of camber or something like that, and you go into this week and you've got like 1 degree of camber. So where 1 week it could be favored to where you can get relatively sideways and really, really push the car, and then you get some nights like tonight where you're at a road course, it's completely different, and that rear steer is very, very tedious, and that push line is ever so more fun.
Well, you got close once again, another podium here a phenomenal drive ahead of Brandon Fetterplace and firmly on the podium in second place tonight. Another podium with 4 races to go. Las Vegas next week. How are you feeling about possibly trying to go and play spoiler in Vegas?
Think it'll be fun. My entire mindset going into this is I'm not in the playoffs. I came in partway through the season, so all I'm doing is trying to do the best I can to make the old president happy at presidential racing, to keep me around for next season, and ultimately to stay out of the way of everybody else and let them have good playoffs. So like to try to stay in the picture to where at least I'm talked about once or twice, but not cause them any trouble in the process. But, thanks again for y'all having me up here in the ABN booth. It's nice to be up front and not be too hairy with anything, and hopefully I'll see y'all next week here at Vegas. Y'all have a good one.
Absolutely. Brandon Proudfoot, second place finisher tonight here for Presidential Racing. We see him again tomorrow night, I believe, for the race at Road America, if I'm not mistaken, in HTL. Or are you sitting that one out?
I will actually be in a chartered, so I am guaranteed for tomorrow. So I'll see you
tomorrow. Even better. Well, we'll see you again tomorrow night. Hopefully, we get to talk to you tomorrow. Hopefully, with a podium there on another road course. This time in Wisconsin. So, Brandon, good luck tomorrow, and hopefully we get to talk to you then. If not, hopefully we get to talk to you next Sunday at Las Vegas.
We'll see. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you. That was Brandon Proudfoot, second place finisher here tonight. We got one more person to interview, and that is Cincinnati's own Brandon Fetterplace, from Pennsylvania to Ohio. Cincinnati had a really good run tonight. The Bengals won their game against the Arizona Cardinals, and Brandon Proudfoot scores another podium. Pretty good odds there for Cincinnati gang here tonight. Brandon, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Sure do.
Obviously, third place, a very hard-fought battle here. Obviously, still looking for another win this season, but comfortably into the round of 8 coming up over the next 3 weeks. Walk us through this race tonight. Obviously, we know you're good at these road courses, but this one was a bit challenging tonight.
It was definitely a challenge. Really, I just tried to stay clean all race, try to stay out of all the trouble, and see where that put me. I mean, the setup for the car just didn't feel good. The track itself just didn't feel right tonight, but, I had a terrible practice, and qualifying was all right, but, I just kept digging and kept fighting during the race and just kind of trying to stay clean and hit my marks, and pulled out a third. Had a great race with Game in there for a while, and I think something happened to him.
Obviously, a little bit for Gaiman. He ended up clipping he ended up being a little too aggressive in the last chicane and spun himself out there, which is what got him down to 5th there behind Michelle. Obviously, we know how good this 34 car is. You got 2 cars still in the round of 8 with you and Kruger firmly in. Walk us through how you attack these next 3 races. It's going to be a pretty interesting variety of oval tracks here. Las Vegas next week, which is a huge strategy race. Last time you were there. Homestead, which is a mixed bag, and then Martinsville, which is going to be a lot of elbows out racing. How do you attack those 3 races coming up to try to get into the championship 4?
Really, it's just going to come down to execution. We need to kind of stay true to what we've been doing all season. We need to put in the practice, put in the time, exchange the notes, kind of help each other out. Vegas and Homestead are going to be pretty tough. Martinsville is going to be even tougher because it's a short track, and a lot of people are going to be fighting for that championship 4 to have that final race. So, I think it's time to be a little bit more aggressive for us and to, kind of stay clean, but actually execute during these races, which is something that I don't really think I've been doing recently. I feel like I'm kind of falling behind a little bit, but I'll kind of gather it back up, and time to go hit this round of 8 and show them why we're here.
A phenomenal drive here for the 34 game. The Cincinnati man, another podium, some hardware on a really good night for Cincinnati sports. That's Cincinnati Supporters Shield winners. Cincinnati Bengals race. They won their game tonight in Arizona. So a phenomenal night all around for the Cincinnati crew. Before we let you go, though, and let you enjoy the rest of your night, a good night here, and hopefully a good week coming up here with Vegas next week. if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Brandon, the floor is yours. Congrats again on another incredible podium here in the A-Square Cup Series.
I appreciate it. Thanks to Battle Beaver for being on the car. Line Power, obviously, my teammates, for all the help that they do. Thanks to you, ABN, for all the great broadcasts. I can't wait to go back and watch it. And, thanks to the league and really everyone watching. Hopefully this road course wasn't too much of a bore and everyone enjoyed the time. So other than that, we'll see you in Vegas.
Absolutely. Brandon Fedda plays third place finisher tonight here at Charlotte at the Roval, with Las Vegas coming up next on next Sunday's calendar. Brandon, congratulations on it again. We'll see you next week.
Thank you very much. See you there.
That was Brandon Fedda, place third place finisher. Phenomenal race for him tonight. Line Power getting themselves onto the podium. 3 different teams on the podium tonight with Breatron, Presidential, and Line Power. Go to the full results here. They've been scrolling at the top of your screen. Now here they are. Center of your screen. Reynolds, Proudfoot, Fedda Place. We talked to all 3 of them. Michelle and Gaiman on the lead lap. Only 5 cars on the lead lap. Feemster, 6th place. 1 lap down. Kruger in 7th. A very pivotal fight there for the last transfer spot into the round of 8. Sears in 8th. Wansing, Wright, Oberstadt, Brea, Withers, and Roberts top 14. Austin Mongold, the first retirement, rounding out the 15th position. And points as they run. This has been the pivotal question mark entering tonight's race. We knew it was close, and it just got closer as the race went on. Kruger did everything she could in the first 2 stages, and that's what helped her out tonight. 19 points in the stages for Kruger, gets her 7th place and safely into the round of 8. According to our calculations, we'll wait for ARCS A² officials to confirm this to make sure. Reynolds with the race win, though. 2nd of the season means he has 6 bonus points going into Las Vegas next week. Gaiman, Wansing, Fedda Place top 4. Michelle, pretty well safe. We knew that going in, that Michelle was going to be pretty safe.
That winning that first stage also helped as well. That basically got him lunged in.
Yeah, it was essentially that was the seal away there. Then you have 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, which was the huge question mark tonight. David Wright ends up safe in 6th position, did what he could, did what he had to hold on to it. But at the end of that race, it was about tiebreakers no matter what. David Wright, 3-time race winner in this series. Steven Oberstadt, a 1-time race winner. They both had tiebreakers over Kevin Feemster, no matter who finished 10th or 11th in the race tonight. Feemster finished in 6th position, and unfortunately not scoring a lot of stage points tonight did not help his case in the slightest. He'll miss out on tiebreaker 2, Steven Oberstadt. But importantly, you look at that 6th to 9th battle, 2 points separated that entire battle. So a stage point in any direction would have severely shifted how that looked tonight. But as it stands.
Because it's interesting because Feemster scored stage points in the first stage here in comparison. He got 2 points to throw in regard. David Wright ended up getting, I believe, less than 1, if my math is correct. But it's worth
David
noting,
Wright got 2 in stage 2, and Oberstadt got 1 in each stage.
Yeah, so Oberstadt got clutched up there and able to get that, while Feemster didn't get anything in stage 2. If Feemster got something in stage 2, presumably he'd have the 1 point advantage over that. It just shows you, and it's the weird thing is kind of I was talking about at the beginning of the broadcast where the stage breaks were coming back with the cautions, and obviously we'll see that again next year in the 2024 A² Series where all road courses have stage breaks. But unlike the previous road courses where we saw mistakes happen and we saw incidents happen in that regard, we saw Reynolds sideways on lap 1. If we had no cautions out this race, there's a good chance in that regard Reynolds does not win this race in that regard. So, and then maybe Michelle wins, maybe Kruger wins. We don't know that. But what we do know is Reynolds is not likely to win that. So these cautions ended up playing big-time favors for both Oberstadt, Kruger, and David Wright, and Feemster just sadly the odd one out at the moment. Obviously, A² will confirm this. It could still change. But right now, Feemster looking to be the one man out of this close battle.
And for Oberstadt, that went to Talladega, proving dividends once again, holding tiebreaker going into the round of 8. It's how he got into the round of 12 over Matt Leiter. Yeah, because Matt Leiter. So Matt Leiter, we thought, and to kind of explain that one, Leiter had a penalty for not having the correct playoff banner on, which was a 10-point penalty. And that was where the discrepancy came in for us.
I got it.
So that's what drew them level. We talked about that. It was like, oh, well, Leiter's safely in, but that 10-point penalty threw him level with Oberstadt. and then he got knocked out on tiebreaker there. No penalties this round in the playoffs. Everyone pretty well just keeping in mind their P's and Q's and being safe and sound on that. But Feimster, again, just missing out again on tiebreaker with 3,095 points. Again, if he had scored 2 more points, that would have been the difference between being in 9th and 6th, which is a crazy thing to think about. Just how much everything meant in the stages here tonight, especially for those needing the most out of it. Absolutely crazy stuff this evening.
Like 15 to go, we thought, okay, Kruger's in, Feimster's out. Then 10 to go, Kruger has a connection issue, drops out. So we think, oh, Kruger's now out. We think it's heartbreak of her. She's able to only stay on the 1 down, and next you know, she drives her way back up. So within 5 to go, we're doing more crunches. We're like, all right, Feimster's currently back out, but now Wright and Oberstedt are right there fighting. Something happens, who knows? So it was changing and fluctuating so much near the end that any one little break, any one little mistake, Kruger fell out of position or made a mistake, dragged out or had a connection issue, she would have been back out. So anything could have easily changed in those last couple laps. And again, great drive by all those 4. Even if Kevin Feimster is eliminated, he should hold his head held high. He went out swinging. He did not roll over in that regard.
Absolutely. But that'll do it here for the round of 12 in the ARCS A² Cup Series playoffs. Next week, it is Las Vegas, 7 p.m. This time again next week on ABN Esports 1. Tomorrow night, we head to Wisconsin. Me and Christina Ron will be covering the HTL Cup Series race as we head up to Road America. Then we have the season finale for the ABN Box Cup Series at Homestead, Miami. And then Thursday, the start of the ABN High Performance season at Suzuka. So we have some stuff ending and some stuff beginning this week here on ABN Esports 1. We hope you're there for us. Obviously, keep an eye on abnesports.com because we have some breaking news coming out later this week. So stay tuned for all of that. But for the top 8, the championship battle continues on for Feimster, Sears, Roberts, and Ryan Pinnell. Their championship ambitions in 2023 come to an end in the A² Cup Series. On behalf of everyone here for ARCS, for the A² Cup Series, for all of their partners, Midwest Barbecue and Darkside Mustangs and Windy Chevrolet, for everyone here at ABN Studios and ABN Esports 1, or all of our partners, Michael Commentator, Kevin Young, I'm Carmen and Sienna. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, have some fun in the week ahead. We'll see you tomorrow night in Wisconsin. Stay safe, everybody.